Hello everybody, welcome back to our city building series. You saw me last time doing mostly this whole area here. I was working on Locktown, so that would be probably one of the outskirts of the city. And yeah, I did a tiny little bit of, making things better, I suppose. I added these trees. This is a custom tree. I kind of put two on top of each other and then, added a few more branches. So, and I also switched out the wood here just to blend in with the rest a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I did here. I still don't have a good idea for something pretty in this area. I feel like that looks a little bit empty. So if you have a good idea for prettying up this house, do let me know. I'd like to, do something with this. But yeah, I did run out of ideas for this area for the moment, so I thought I'd move back into the city and, work on that. I also named the station, so this is Locktown Station. And I did this on the other side. So you see here, oh, here we go. Mountain City Station, so I call this now Mountain City because why not? So this is Mountain City Station and this is Mountain City, and you can see, you might have seen one of my shorts where I was showing how to make these little market stalls, I suppose. And yeah, so I made these. This is the one that I did in the short, and then the other three are just the other three. And I gave every one of these stalls a certain topic. So this is the animal one, this is the flower one, food stall and drink stall. And yeah, I also marked out a bunch of stuff here. So this here, I'm thinking of like some sort of tourism information stand that I'm putting here because it might be a really good spot. The hotel is right over here. It's along the main road. The market, museum, everything is here, so why not put like a little tourism information thing here. I'm not sure if I'm doing this like in between recordings or if I'll do it at some point, but I have a bit of a vision for it, but not quite yet. But I also marked a little bit more, you can see here. So I marked out this. I was thinking about some sort of mall, and then this here is just marking out down here staircase, and then maybe here, I don't know, a playground, a little park area, something like that. I don't know yet. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking is like a roofed over area here that leads down to a staircase down this way. Yeah, so maybe that's a mall, maybe it's something else. I don't know quite yet, but I'll think of it. I'll think about it. And I have two more marked out areas, I suppose. I'm not quite sure what to do with them, but I will keep that here. If you have a good idea what I could put here in these two marked out spots, I can change them as well, obviously. I can't go too far into the back here because I have the subscriber museum below there, so I have to make sure that I'm not like digging into that. But yeah, I think this should be pretty much a safe zone if I don't dig into down here. So I would probably just do a stairs up this way. But yeah, if you have a good idea for these two buildings, do let me know. But I feel like let's start with this here today. So this would probably be a mall. I'm gonna knock out the stone here and then probably also fill this here up a little bit just to make this all even. Either fill it up upwards or downwards, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, let's knock this out first and then we go from there. Alright, so I've flattened it out all the way to make sure that we have something to work with. So yeah, I was thinking while I was doing this that why don't we put like a small shop in the bottom and then put some apartments on top, like how it is sometimes, you have this kind of weird public area and then on top there are apartments. I'm thinking about that maybe. So yeah, I'm considering maybe above this because I'm still gonna have this little area here roofed. So I'm thinking above this could be like a tiny balcony or something. But yeah, let's make a day first. And then let's have a look. So I want things to be kind of making sense in a way. I'm not sure if I want to use this, but maybe for the walls and then for the details I do something else. I don't know. Actually, let me throw all of this out first and then we work on that. So this would probably be our base, like wall color, I suppose. And then I'm thinking maybe these. Actually, let me check something. What are they? What are they called? I'm just gonna write brick. I think I'll find it quicker. I think it's kind of like this, deep slate bricks maybe, or if I could just deep slate these here, deep slate tiles. Yeah, I like these. So deep slate tiles maybe for the corners and stuff. Right? Let's have a look what that looks like. I'm gonna just, because we don't have a lot, like it's going to be built into these mountain things. Okay, so we've come quite a way now. I made this area kind of, you know, not too boring to walk through. A little bit of light as well coming in. I will put some ceiling lights as well. I also just realized that I need a in-between floor, just like I did it over here. So I'm thinking that I might just do these, because they might actually look really well. I just want to see what that looks like in the corner before I commit. Let me just have a quick look here. Just to put a little bit of, you know, interesting architecture here, because I don't want this to be like super boring. Not sure how well you'd see this from afar. Yeah, I'm not sure. What if I use a different one? It's deep slate. So what if I use the lighter one of these? This one here. The brick wall. Let's have a quick look here. If I use that one. Because it's just ever so light. Yeah. Let's do that. I think that looks actually pretty good. Kind of breaks the whole thing up a little bit as well. And it's still within the color scheme. That makes sense. And I'll do that, I think, only in the actually visible areas. Oopsie. So we do it, I think, up to here. Because here it doesn't matter. There'll be... there's the mountain anyway, so that's not visible to the public, so to say. And any inside walls also don't need it, so it's literally just the outside walls for it. I'm actually wondering... Nah. I was thinking about putting the bricks of this in the corners every time, but I think it'll be nicer if I just keep it this way, because I was also considering doing it this way down, right? Like this. I think that might actually be nice. Oh yeah, I might need to fix that. There we go. I think that's actually pretty cool, and then because we're still putting these on top. Hang on. Just want to see what it all looks like. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, because I didn't do a too wide here. Should just get rid of this, but then it doesn't look as built into the mountain as it actually is. Anyway, let's do it here as well now. Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. I like it. I'll do it on these corners as well, or like on this one corner, because anything else is not that visible anyway. There we go. I think that works actually. That's not bad. I'm a little bit torn on this area, that's why it looks a bit odd, because I'm not quite sure how to go about it. Especially since I was originally intending to keep this area kind of public, but now I'm just making it an entrance. Actually, I did not follow the rest of the build with this too wide on each of the corners. So now this is not valid anymore. Okay, hang on. So now we're at this width. That actually works for a double door. I like what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, so let's put the double door like so. Now what does that look like? Is that weird? Yeah, that doesn't make too much sense here. And then here, suppose we'll go like that. I'll think on this. I don't quite like it yet, so I need to make friends with this or find another idea. But I feel like because this is going up so high, but I don't have that height here, you know. So it would only be what? This. Though I wonder. Actually, hang on. Let me see. So if I went like so, because then it kind of follows suit, doesn't it? It's even at the same height. Let me see what happens if I do it like that. Ah yeah, and then that's why I didn't do it to begin with. Because then this is kind of exposed up here. Because otherwise this would be so cool, just to continue this. Why do I do it like this? Ah, that's weird. What if I do it like this? I mean, we could just go like so. Do I like this? Kind of the same style but different, but you know what, I'm just gonna keep it like this for the moment, because otherwise I'm gonna obsess and I really don't know what to do with this area anyway. So let's keep going up here. So then we would put a flooring. I'm not quite sure what the flooring should be. Maybe I put... I mean, it doesn't matter because it's the in-between floor anyway, is it? Or is it the actual floor? It's actually the actual floor, I think, because this is where... Yeah, okay. And we put a reminder where we are, just so I don't mess things up. This is my reminder. Okay. So let's put the in-between. I'm feeling... Where is it? Here. This one. Let's put the floor in. Actually, let's speed that one up. Yeah, so I've done all the floors. I've kind of mapped out this as a fencing for this. It looks a little bit dark though, so I might change it out a little bit. I'm not quite sure what to do with this, but I'm thinking about it. Actually, I might just put like moss carpet on here or something like that. But yeah, so this area is probably just going to be the whatchamacallit, staircase and stuff, you know? And then maybe I'll just put like 2 apartments in this area. I feel like this actually gives more of a modern office building vibe at this point. Just by how this is like, if I just take this out, right? Then I have these like large glass windows and like kind of areas. You know what, I think I'm gonna do that. I'll still keep this here as an outside like balcony area, but I think I'm going to switch the inside a little bit. I feel like that will actually make a lot more sense than what I've got here now. And we have an apartment block. We can always do more, but I feel like what I'm doing here just feels more officey. And every city needs some office blocks, I guess, like at least a larger city. And I'm gonna call this a large city. Considering what kind of builds I've done in the past, this is big. Okay, I will keep this. Now let's bring this corner back. Actually, let's finish this one here as well, because that's where all the glass will go. So I'm just gonna, oops, here we go. All right, so now this is where the stairs will come up. So I'm still gonna keep this like a public area, but I will close it off, I think like here. Yeah. And then we'll get some like an entry area. I suppose we'd have like some sort of like batch scanning stuff downstairs, so we wouldn't need too much. So we can go something like this maybe. We wouldn't have a window out to the good places. In here, hang on. So we need it here. I suppose I'll do it like this. Actually, let's match it up this way. There we go. I'll do it here as well. Okay. There we go. Would we do it like this? No. Maybe we do something like that. Just to keep the overall style intact, but make clear that this is now the inside. Yeah. Okay, let's put the window in. I'm thinking like shelving in between here, you know, to kind of partition. I am thinking modern office here, so I'm kind of trying to draw from the offices that I've been working at for the last, I don't know what, like 13 years, which have all been in like big modern offices, like those open plan ones. Like obviously this is not going to be even close to that big, but I'm kind of drawing my ideas from that. So I think I'll be changing out the floors, but right now I just want to get the floor plan overall. That's looking good. Okay, we can. I don't know why I wasn't filling this out to begin with. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's fix up the corners again here. And I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with the roof, because it should be a flat roof just to, you know, fit in with this whole thing, because I haven't, like, other than the I wanted to say hospital, words escape me. Hotel, goodness. Other than the hotel, nothing here has a proper roof in the city so far, right? So I'm kind of trying to keep the flat roof, but I also want to make it a bit more interesting, so I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I'm still gonna like frame it the same way I did. Oh no, that's the wrong one, is it? No, it's the right one. Still gonna frame it this way because that'll just keep the whole pattern. Oh yeah, I don't need to do it here because that's the mount here. It might be visible though, and here as well. So I'm just gonna do it this whole way. And also because I don't want to put a proper roof over here, I kind of want it. I don't know what to do with this because this is supposed to be like an outside balcony, but right now I just have a weird block. A block with a really cool pattern, but nevertheless, it's just a block. And what I actually want is like an actual, like, some sort of balcony situation here. And I'm not quite sure how to, I want to see. Okay. So I think that could work for starters, but I don't want to break up the pattern here. Yeah, let me think on that. I have to do something about the flooring and I have to do something about the roofing, but I'm kind of out of ideas. But I think this is kind of cool so far. Let's actually add this wall here. Oh no, that's correct actually. Here we go. Okay. Probably do it like this here as well. And then run out of ideas because I don't know what to do with this. I think that's pretty much all I can do right now because I'm literally so out of ideas right now. So I ran out of ideas, so I stopped. It was also getting really late, so I didn't want to force it and make it like a really bad build or anything like that. So a few days later I went on stream, so if you want to see what I did on the stream, go ahead. I will be linking that in the description box. But basically upstairs I built the office space itself, and then for this recording I forgot to click the voice recording, so here's a little voiceover. But we're seeing right now that I'm working on the cafeteria, or like lunch space, or whatever you want to call it, and I made a few tables there just, you know, to have a spot to sit and have your lunch. You can see I used the trapdoors there with like as the backing to make like smaller chairs instead of always using stairs. Instead I wanted to use the slab and these trapdoors that I thought looked quite nice together. Confusing myself how I was designing these tables, but you can see it's coming together anyway. Here I was considering putting a table there right in the middle, but I was thinking the whole time like there would be a lot of foot traffic, and having like this one single table in the middle of this area would be a bit odd. So you'll see me in a moment trying around with that, but I will not do that in the end because it just doesn't work. I was thinking of putting a bench there, you'll see that in a second. But yeah, I think like it looks a little bit odd, especially if it's like a small table like that. And there, we're getting rid of it. Of course we have to keep trying for a little bit, but I'm going to throw away that idea quickly. Yeah, instead of mapping the space with the table first, I started mapping the space with the chairs first, because that way I was sure that I could put the backs of the chairs on. I was considering putting stuff on the tables there, but I wasn't sure about it anyway, so I left that out. Now we're thinking about bleachers, because all those big modern offices usually have some sort of space where they have those huge like all hands meetings and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on next, getting those bleachers planned and how we're going to put them up and keep it nice and still look like, you know, office bleachers, I guess. here I'm trying to plan out how big they need to be. Kind of partition them off as well. Keeping the theme with those columns as well. I think the texture of those look really, really nice. That office space looks so dark anyway, unless you put like some sort of very light colored touch in it. Here I was debating if I'm putting those columns at the top of that entrance or not, or glass or whatever. I wasn't quite sure, so I was, you know, thinking. I was also debating putting doors there, but I decided against that in the end. And yeah, now comes the calculating of where the bleachers will go. Because at first I was going to face that all towards the rear of the whole huge room, but you can see now I'm starting them to face towards the side where the door is. Makes a bit more sense for the space. I also wanted to make sure there is space that's clearly stairs up instead of just walking up the bleachers. I wanted some sort of, you know, stairs situation there. Kind of trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that. I was even thinking about that banner design that you can put there to put cushions, because usually, at least in the places that I've worked at, there were always cushions in the bleachers, because they're usually made of like some sort of hard material, and if you're sitting there for an hour to listen to whatever presentation, that's very uncomfortable. But yeah, I feel like those stairs on the side actually working out really well. I was getting quite annoyed by not having light here, but it didn't matter too much anyway because I was almost done. And the light is coming in as well in a minute. I did have to clear the weather because I never know if there will be a lightning striking some of the buildings I've already done, so I keep clearing the weather every time I see a thunderstorm in there. Maybe I have to put some lightning rods up in different places just to make sure that whenever a thunderstorm comes, nothing gets destroyed. This is the lighting that was my idea for upstairs, so I wanted a little bit of a, I don't know, industrial vibe, I suppose. So I was using those waxed copper things to make some light designs. Upstairs in the office it's just rows of light, but here down there I was thinking about making it a little bit more interesting. I was finding it so hard as well to calculate the distances there with those rods and those blocks. I kept having them wrong. But yeah, I don't know if the industrial vibe is coming through here very well. Do let me know in the comments if you have an opinion. This is a bigger space, so I was trying to kind of, map mentally where I'm going to place those, and you can see I'm trying to make a path of light with those copper things and then just adding those. You'll see in a bit I'm going to be struggling quite a little at the end there because it's not perfectly divisible, if that makes sense. This is where I'm wondering what I'm gonna do with that area. Because it looks a little bit weird if you put 3 in a row of those end rods. So I'm trying to have it 1 or 2. But yeah, you can see the light snaking around a little bit, trying to... This is where I was struggling the most, this area with the 3. Or like 4, whatever. Kind of hard to map that out. But I got there in the end. And then this looked too straightforward for me, so I wanted to still do something about it, and I couldn't quite figure out how. See, I didn't want to have a grid of those blocks up on the ceiling. I wanted it to look a bit more, I don't know, dynamic, I guess is a good word for it. Yeah, I was quite unhappy with that as well, because it was just, I don't know, it didn't look nice in my opinion, so I was still playing around with this. There you can see the penny dropping. Yeah, this area was bothering me so much when I was building this. But yeah, what do you think of this industrial vibe that I was attempting there? Wonder if I could have done it a little bit better, but I'm not quite sure, honestly. Unless I was to put those in the ceiling. But I feel like it gives a bit more interest to the whole area if I have it hanging off the ceiling like that. I thought this area is a little bit empty, so I was adding a little more. But that's, if I remember right, that's the last table that I'm adding, and then I got bothered with that corner that you can see there in the back. This is when I'm excuse me. This is where I'm planning to put little planters all over the place, just to have some greenery in the place and a little bit of a touch of color, I guess. Thinking about what the planter will look like. I decided against the spruce trapdoor because it doesn't fit the vibe of the building quite well. Yeah, I wanted the handles down just to have it look a little bit nicer at the top of that. Yeah, and then I realized that the area is a little bit dark, so I had to add something there, so I thought about hanging lights down. Could have used the blue ones, I think they might have even fit a little bit better, but I did want a proper touch of color because it was already looking kind of cold, which is why there are now planters, and I think that's also why I used the orange lantern, because it just looks a little bit more colorful in the whole area there. This was my first idea, but it looks a bit odd, so I changed that very quickly, as you can tell. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's good enough. Here I was considering making a really big planter that goes around those corners, but as you can tell, I decided against that, and I think that was a good decision. More lights. I think that makes the area look a bit warmer, honestly, because it was very sterile, I suppose. I mean, it still is, but I'm really trying to make it less so. Now, yeah, I was showing this a little bit because I realized that if I'm recording and then streaming and then recording again, you would have just missed completely if you're not watching the stream. I'll do a little bit of a walkthrough at the end as well, just so you see that whole area a bit better. But yeah, here's the balcony. So I'm making that a staff balcony, you know, where people can, I don't know, have a quick cigarette or just have their break or whatever. I'm always trying to keep the theme of a specific area the same, so that's why everywhere where there are these plants there is those hanging chain lights. Yeah, and here was thinking about a seating area and whether I make it like a nice organized one, or if I'll make it, you know, just scattered chairs around, because people will move the chairs however they sit together, you know. So that's what I did there then in the end. Yep, and there we go. I was still wondering like about other things that I could put on the balcony, but I didn't want it too cluttered, because after all it's an office space and it shouldn't be too cluttered. And here I'm planning the sofa for that corner that you can see, the empty one there. And I think this looks kind of like Leather the Mud Stairs. In case you couldn't read that there, that's Mud Stairs. I think they look kind of like a leather couch. I was playing around with that area quite a bit, but I think it turned out nice in the end. Here I was wondering if I'll put like a proper carpeted area or just a little rug, but yeah, I think making it a proper carpeted area actually turned out for the better there. I was keeping the white just to bring it back because there are little splashes of white all over the place, so I was thinking that making the carpet white as well would be a good idea. Yeah, putting the ending of like the end of the sofas. Yeah, there you have it. Normally there would be like little tables and stuff as well, but I didn't bother with that because we don't, like, this is unmodded, right? Like, I'm trying to do everything unmodded, meaning that I can't be having like, I don't know, that like that chisel mod or whatever. So I'm trying to do what I can with what I have without any mods. I was still wondering what I'll do with this office area, so I just put another planter down. Make it all inviting. And more lights. There we go. This is what I was saying when I was saying it looks a little bit weird when it's more than two, because they connect with this flat piece. That's also why I removed it there, because that was annoying me a lot. That's the office done. Like the little one in the back anyway. At this point I also realized I had to put the entrance doors back, but I wanted to do the rest of the bleachers first, of course, just to get that done as well. I wanted a little podium, really, like where a speaker could, you know, have their notes and stuff, so that's what we're doing right now. I was thinking a little mud seating area in the corner there for, like, let's say there are several speakers for whatever presentation, they have to wait somewhere, so they sit on the side on the sofa until it's their turn. The lectern obviously for the speaker. I'm also at this point realizing the moment I put I take that torch away, that area will be quite dark down there, and you'll see me, you know, playing around with that a little bit to figure that out a bit better. I was trying to figure out, honestly, like how to make that not look too bulky. Especially, let's imagine you're sitting in the first row right there. You'd be just, you know, getting a cramp in your neck because you have to look up that far. But, oh well. Here's my trapdoor idea coming back. I had to figure out how to place that there. I was getting a little bit annoyed with myself at that point, but it's okay. It worked out in the end. This is where I'm realizing I need to use proper blocks, like full blocks for this. I honestly don't know why that took me so long to figure out, but at least it worked in the end. Yeah, this is where I figured that I shouldn't have taken those blocks away for the sides there. Yeah, and here I was wondering, am I going to keep that a half slab, or will I put something, like make a proper block and then put something on top of it? And I think I put shelves on it in the end, because I thought like it would be a nice touch to that area. That's where it gets very dark, because I removed that torch. But there will be lighting, you'll see in a minute. So yeah, now we have like a proper speakers area. I was thinking about a little reading light, but if I make a little reading light, it's still 2 blocks high, so it's not little. So I did try to see what it looks like, but I didn't quite like it in the end. So guess what's coming back for this area? Maybe pause now and then put your guess in the description, no, in the comments. So yeah, if you guess the chain lights are coming back, you were completely right. However, I did them a little bit different there because it's a different area, it's not a plant, so I was, you know, trying to find something that makes it look a little bit different but still fit in correctly. There you go. It's almost like those hanging microphones on stages. And then here what I was thinking is, if you're having a presentation, you obviously need a big screen behind you, so that's what's coming next. I'm putting a little screen. I'm looking what's the darkest black that I find in a block in this game, and I think it was what, concrete, black concrete or something like that. So yeah, here's the big black flat screen behind the speaker, so you can actually run a proper presentation. Yeah, and that is it for the bleachers. That's where I'm finally putting the doors back in. I think it's the iron doors, just because they fit the whole vibe the best out of all the doors that are available. I wish there were just some very blank, nothingy doors with nothing special, just one solid color, maybe like one in white, one in black, one in gray. You know, just having some neutral doors that have nothing special with them. That's what I was looking for there. But yeah, I was kind of imagining that those buttons would be badge scanners, so you can actually only enter the building if you have a badge and you have to swipe it so that the door opens. That was kind of the idea there, but yeah, here's a little bit of a walkthrough, I suppose. I can't remember if I did anything, if I added anything at this point. I think I forgot the doors in this place, to be fair, like at the balcony. I think I forgot the doors completely. But yeah, that's the office from the outside. Ah, no walkthrough after all. I thought I put it there. Thought some public lights in the public area would be good. Yeah, now I'm working on those stairs down. I didn't do the whole like area below in this building session, but I did want to get it ready to do that. Like I wanted to put the cobble on the side because I feel like it looks really good for these wallings, like these reinforcement walls. I think that looks really good with the cobblestone, and that's why I wanted to put that there and make sure that the stairs are ready, like everything is ready for the next time I'm going into this area to build. Because I'm still wondering what I'm putting down there, so do leave a comment if you have a good idea for what's going down there. I was at first thinking like some sort of park or a playground or some sort of like maybe a beach, you know, a little vacationing spot for the people that just live in the city, so not the tourists that would be down on the other side on the beach, but like, you know, a little, I don't know, even maybe a private beach or something like that. But I'm not quite sure what to put there. Like if you have a cool idea for that area down the stairs, let me know in the comments. I'd really like to hear it. Yeah, here I'm realizing the dirt there looks a bit odd and the red is still there, so I'm kind of fixing everything as I go. I think this looks like this specifically in this corner still looks a little bit odd because it's not quite even on the other side there, but I can always address that at some point. Yeah, just adding the rest of those reinforcement walls. I'm also noticing, you see there down there, there's a little hole, so I'll be fixing that in a minute as well, but I did notice it right away and it was bothering me, but I did want to get the walls done before I was addressing that hole in the ground. Yeah. I did want to age this a little bit as well, because if that's a very frequented area, then you'd have like, you know, some wear and tear of some sort. And the only way I found to do that is with the moss, like the mossy cobblestone. So that's what I'm doing there, just to make it look a bit more lived in, I suppose. And I'll be doing the same with the walls on top. They're not there yet, but I'll be putting them there, so that if you're coming from the other side, from the top, you don't fall down onto the stairs. That's coming in like a couple of minutes whenever this is done. I'm always finding it kind of hard to make those seemingly random patterns, because in my head it'll always be a pattern of some sort and I'll know why I placed certain blocks wherever I did. So I always feel like it's not as random as I'd like it to be, but you know, there's only so much randomness you can do when you just play with squares, basically. I was thinking, since it's going down towards the water, maybe there should be a bit of moss as well. Just not just to make it look worn, you know, but also because there's water very close by. I don't know. At least it doesn't look so clinical and overly clean. Like, I don't think any city would be so clean that every bit of moss and dirt would be gone. But yeah, here are the walls that I was mentioning earlier, so I'm just placing them. I replace some with the mossy ones, but usually when I build anything, I just want it built out clean first, and then I'll just add whatever I need to add. And I feel like making some of those walls mossy as well worked really well, in my opinion, but let me know if you think differently here. I was thinking that wherever there is a block of moss at the top, there should be a wall, a mossy wall somewhere connected in that same area, because I feel like when there's moss somewhere, it'll kind of almost infect the area surrounding it. So that's why I was looking where there's already moss to make mossy walls as well at that spot. So yeah, I keep looking there just to see what I like and what I still want to change. I'm still thinking, I was thinking then, and I'm still thinking how I'm going to add lighting in this area. Because this is a little bit of a weird area. I can't just put like a pole above the stairs or something. It'll be looking a little bit odd. But yeah, I'm just placing whatever lights I have there so that no monsters will spawn in this area, and then I just filled up the hole. Yeah, this is just basically part of getting this area ready to do something with it, but now we have the stairs down, and yeah, that's the view for now. But yeah, let me know if you have any cool ideas for downstairs. Make sure to subscribe and like, and I see you next time.